I don't have a library card. I do have a library card. Support your local libraries.
I am easily swayed by someone with a library card.
Yeah.
Sexiest thing on the planet is a library card right there.
The podcast you're about to listen to may contain objectionable language, adult and/or immature content, mentions of Jesus Christ, and unironic readings of holy Christian scriptures. If any of this is likely to offend you in a manner that you find less than enjoyable, maybe don't listen.
Hi, I'm Pastor Bob Schaefer.
And I'm Pastor Eric Damon. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome to a Comedians with Pastors Talking Bible short take.
And it's a short take because an hour every week is just too much, and we still want to do it weekly.
It's all you can stand and all you need, all in one nice little half hour. The deal is that we are still bringing on comedians to talk with us every single week about the Bible. We're still choosing stuff based on the revised common lectionary readings.
But every other week, we drop the introductory banter with featured comedians, and we bring on our resident comic theologians, Eric and Abby.
You know who it is already. You already know.
I'm Abby.
I'm Eric.
And by resident, we mean like literally we make them live here and they don't ever get to go home.
I haven't seen sunshine since 2024.
Eric's got a sleeping bag back behind the sofa there because he doesn't get the sofa.
We don't feed them. That's why you can't see it on camera. But Eric has a lunchbox in front of him.
I shower in the bathroom sink.
I haven't showered.
So,
all right. Well, since we've already announced our pro-slavery of Eric and Abby's stance, we should let them know our take on the Bible.
Our take on the Bible is that we take it. We treat it as
We just take it. It's there. We find in hotels, and
we take it much like we took Eric and Abby's freedom.
We take it like you take a Tylenol.
Too much.
Too much. No, yeah. You hopefully not too much. It's bad.
Can the Bible cause autism?
This isn't water. This is Eric's piss. This is all I have to hydrate myself.
But we take the Bible very seriously. We don't consider it to be literal truth in all cases, but there is still truth to be found throughout. The Bible points us towards Jesus, not the other way around. It is the measuring stick by which we judge all of our other theologies.
And we are laughing not because that is funny at all, but just because the juxtaposition was pretty amazing.
And our slaves do not necessarily hold to that take on the Bible.
They will if they know what's good for them.
We're not letting them out either way.
It treats the Bible as truth or it gets the hose.
I'm sorry, I actually still have this thought of Jesus being like, the Bible's over there. You should check it out.
But you must have a library card.
Having fun isn't hard.
We'll let you leave the church when you find the Bible.
Leaving the church isn't hard if you've got a library card. PBS said it, not me.
Darn it, now she knows the secret way out.
I don't have a library card. I do have a library card. Support your local libraries.
I am easily swayed by someone with a library card.
Yeah.
Sexiest thing on the planet is a library card right there.
I feel like I'd come up with a couple more sexy things, but it's up there.
I fail to think what that could possibly be, but you know.
Let me think.
2 library cards.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking you have a library card for your town, and you have one the town over, just in case your librarian starts thinking you're coming to the library too much.
Reciprocal library cards. That's hot.
Paris Hilton voice. That's hot.
Never before has that been said about me, Abby. Never. Never again will it be said.
All right. Should we read?
I can't read, Eric. I don't have a fucking library card.
You said you did, and Bob said it was sexy.
I just said that was obviously now the key out of the imprisonment, and we're going to probably have to find new resident comic theologians.
Yeah.
Way to go.
You can clone us with the piss that we've left behind.
We have chains. I can find marijuana. We can get more.
I don't think that there's DNA in a jar of piss, though. Maybe from the edge of it where you've been drinking from. We'll work on that. We'll get our crack team of scientists working on cloning you guys, and all right.
It'll be like that movie Multiplicity. We'll have a couple episodes with like close to you, but then we'll end up really off.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Are you suggesting you would like me to read us something?
Some scripture.
Read it, Bob. Read it.
All right. So this is looking to Sunday, August 9th, the 11th Sunday after Pentecost. The Sundays are flying by in this green season, and we are still in the Gospel of Matthew, moving ahead now to the 14th chapter. Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and go on ahead to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time, the boat, battered by the waves, was far from the land, for the wind was against them. And early in the morning, he came walking toward them on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying, "It is a ghost!" And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water and came toward Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
Why did you doubt? Because it was scary, Jesus. I've never walked on water before. And then there was wind, and I mean, it was my first try. I thought I did pretty good. And you got to make fun of me for it.
Look at this little bitch.
I got motion sickness, Jesus. I got motion sickness.
I mean, I feel like if I took even 2 or 3 steps on water, I'd expect an attaboy at least.
Yeah.
Not like, what an idiot.
This fucking bitch. I'm practically running on water at this point.
I have to assume you can get seasick from walking on water.
You got to get some kind of sick.
That is a good question, though, right? As a wave comes, do you kind of ride up and down on it, or does it?
What is that sensation? Like, what is that like sensation like when you're just like walking on water? Is it like, I don't like? It's got to be like. Do you feel like a floor, or do you just feel like?
You ever walked on like a bouncy house floor?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, I had
basically you're just like a mom's trying to get your kid out of the goddamn bouncy house.
And Jesus is the kid who's like, "Woohoo! I love the bouncy house."
So you too can walk on water, or at least I had understood that this was something that was being constructed many years ago.
Yeah, if you go to Minneapolis, St. Paul in the wintertime, you can walk on water all you want to. You can do it with skates on and everything.
You could just go to Cleveland, buddy.
Yeah, but I was giving him like a hometown shout.
I appreciated that. We used to, you might learn how to come out of a spin with your car by going out onto the lake and getting up to speed and slamming on the brakes and then figuring how to work it out. And, as long as there aren't any ice fishers out there, you're good for, good half a mile or something like that. But
no, if there are, that you're still good. You just kill an ice fisher.
I think Bob was talking
all
about
right,
the
go ahead.
holes in the
Yeah.
ice.
Well, I leave it up to you what I was talking about. But no, what I was gonna mention was that there had been like a tourist attraction. I believe it was a resort on the Sea of Galilee. Was working on building a platform out into the sea that was like some sort of plexiglass or something like that, and was it would rise and fall and would just a few inches below the level of the surface, so that you could walk out onto the sea. And as long as you did not step to your left or to your right too much, you could be Jesus.
Why wouldn't the Sea of Galilee have a Walt Disney style attraction?
Why wouldn't it? If you could monetize Christianity, wouldn't you?
I feel like it's been done a lot.
Also, I feel like this isn't like if a tree falls in the... Well, it sort of is. If you monetize Christianity, is it still Christianity?
Yeah, I'm going to say no, but there are lots out there who would say a very resounding yes.
Well,
So in serious thought to it, if
you're going to be serious?
Yeah, if you're monetizing it for the sake of, and I just my personal gut reaction to it, Walt Disney style, woohoo, we're walking on water, is for the sake of profit. Actual ministries need to have funding to function, and I feel that with total lack of nuance that our social media world lets us have, the funding for actual ministries that people believe in gets chucked into that monetized bucket a lot. And I mean, if you are running a homeless shelter, there's going to at least be a few people there that's their job. You can't just run the whole thing on volunteers. You're going to need to have salaries to survive in order to have the homeless shelter be there for homeless people. The same thing goes for any outreach and ministry. Just because the purpose of it is not to make a profit, there is still monetization that needs to happen, and in order to have those funds come in, you have to have ways, which means, I mean, I could even stretch, if you take the Walt Disney style, let's all go walk on water, and if that, I doubt that exact one is, but let's say all of that funding is being used to run worthwhile ministries in the Holy Land, then I'd say that would still be a valid use of the church. You're just using people's excitement of walking out on the water to be Jesus-like in order to fund things that are Jesus-like.
Well, then there becomes the term how we're defining monetization, which again, you were like, when I say monetize, because I heard you describe the Disney style, and I was there. Oh, people are just taking money, because we know there's the Joel Alsteins and the smaller all over the field. Like, there is an entire. I still need to finish reading Jesus and John Wayne, but there's a whole Christian merchandise economy in the U.S. And that is primarily monetization for the sake of monetization.
Yeah, there's a lot of problematic things within just the Christian merch market. I mean, I've been on record several times. Again, it's all nuanced. This is not go all out and make money, but it's adding the nuance that sometimes money is needed for that. And one of the groups that gets linked in so much with that is the artists and the musicians that are huge parts of that Christian merch economy. And I stand by that. One of the things the church has gotten a lot wrong over 2,000 years. One of the things that it, at least more consistently than not consistently, has gotten right is recognized that creative labor is real labor and compensated people for it. I mean, from the Renaissance to now with if you're a mid-level comedian, but you're willing to follow by all of the really strict rules of the Christian comedy thing, you will make a far better living than your peers that are outside of that bubble that are at roughly the same level. And not that there's not huge problems within that bubble. I mean, there are people who've come out of it that have just very public stories of what goes on in there. But the compensation side of it, I really think if you want to have top tier artists, you got to start compensating the mid tier artists. And the Christian economy is one of the few places that does that, and it's one of the things that I think the church can hang its hat on, that we compensate creative labor as real labor.
I think that's pretty fair to say. Like, I am not what most people would identify as traditionally religious, and I have critiques and criticisms of all sorts of aspects of society. Church is one of my favorite buildings pretty consistently. You end up with some of the coolest architecture. Also, Taylor Tomlinson came out of that comedian bubble
when I'm
you were talking about.
She is who was in mind when I was talking about very well-known public stories of things that were not the darker side, but the more problematic side of the way that scene constrains people, especially young women.
I'm trying to remember what's the like post that got her canceled from that community.
It was I'm a wild animal in bed, more afraid of you than you are of me. Which is like such a great
tame.
so tame.
Such
and
a good
like
joke.
basically she's just saying I'm bad at sex.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had it. I'm a virgin.
And what is more problematic about it is that in that scene, a young woman even hinting that she is a sexual being meant she was blacklisted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Young man could have gotten away with that in a
Oh,
heartbeat.
absolutely.
And there are testimonies of young men saying worse on the scene. So there, it's not a perfect. I'm not lifting up any of the Christian economy as being flawless, but the compensation side of it, I think artists deserve to be compensated for their work, and that scene does that part well.
There was that one Christian comic, I'm blanking on his name. He did like he got big doing like reels, but like he had like some allegations come out against him, and like his Netflix special was pulled. He had like a book deal that got pulled, and everyone was like, a man in the Christian comedy scene faced consequences for his actions.
I was going to start naming people to guess, but now I don't want to start being like, is it them? I don't know, maybe. And we just draw potential allegations to a whole list of
I will say, I think I've brought up in the past Michael Warmke, who was very popular as both a Christian comedian slash what's that when you're like, oh, I was wrong. Like, he claimed he was a former Satanist who like killed people and stuff.
And he didn't. But
So I am going to bring this wonderful little side quest on merchandising the church to an
You're gonna
end
be our dungeon master
by tossing things over to our colleague Jonathan Rundman for 50 seconds of the best thing you're going to hear on this pod.
There is product to be sold. So over there in China, there's some little 8-year-old working at a factory and rarely going home. She's assembling plastic pencil cases with the words to that Footprints poem. Well, I wonder if the kids who buy those Bible action play sets ever stage a cleansing of the temple reenactment. Now no one knows for sure, but I think it's safe to say if Jesus hadn't risen, he'd be rolling in his grave.
That was Weird Al unironically playing Rage Against the Machine vibes. That was fantastic. My jaw dropped.
That is Jonathan Rundman, now a pastor in the ELCA, not at the time he recorded this, from his album Sound Theology, a double album, and really worth your listen.
That was poignant, biting, and fantastic.
Jonathan, please don't sue us for this copyright infringement. So, do you guys want to talk about the Bible at all?
I think we should actually get to
I got more comments on Taylor Tomlinson and Michael Warmke.
I know. This is like such a downer here, but I mean, we've got this. So, like, one of the things that popped into my head as I was hearing this was some of my members had just a few weeks ago taken vacation in Chicago, and they posted pictures from, what is it called now? The Willis Tower. It's the Sears Tower. But that attraction where they've got like a clear room built into the side of one of the upper stories where you can go and you can step out, and it is, very thick glass on all sides, and you are just kind of suspended above the streets of Chicago. And I saw their selfies from there, and I was thinking of Peter stepping out like that with nothing but the water underneath him, and he should be falling, and he's not.
Which is we're back to where we started before our giant digression. Peter does pull off something that is amazing. I mean, for anyone other than Jesus, just getting out of the boat in a storm, everyone is frightened in the boat. That is a huge courage moment to step out of the boat. Then he manages to walk on water for a little while, and then he sinks. And then, in joking wise, I was calling Jesus out for ripping on him, but the more important part is when he yells out for Jesus to save him, Jesus saves him and puts him back in the boat. I mean, so this one is, I will often say that it's a difficult one to preach. This one, to me, the good news is you are going to do amazing things that you have no idea how you did. You're going to somehow find the courage to do them in life. Then you're going to mess them up, and Jesus is still going to love you and take care of you. I mean, this is more of the gospel in a nutshell to me than John 3:16. I mean, that's the gospel promise there that by the Holy Spirit you are going to do things that are beyond comprehension, and you're going to mess them up royally, and Jesus is still going to love you.
And even if you have every reason to believe that you are safe, still things that are, they are safe, are still scary. That is the whole thrill of amusement parks, is that by and large, these are very safe, and yet they feel scary. Stepping out into that glass room in the Sears Tower feels scary, even though it is quite safe. I think about the experience people have had with virtual reality goggles. And I don't know if you've seen like the simulations where it is like walking across a very narrow stone bridge. And you know that you are just in your living room and that you are not taking a step off into a tiny little bridge balancing over a bottomless precipice. And yet people will get the sweaty palms and they will break down looking down at this virtual thing that they know is perfectly safe. And yet it is scary. And so we can know, Peter knows that he is safe with Jesus. He knows if that really is the Lord who has said, "Take heart, it is I, don't be afraid," that he really can trust Jesus. And yet that natural fear reaction is also a part of it. And Jesus, you notice when I read that, the "you of little faith, why did you doubt?" I think part of how you share this on a Sunday is how will you read that? And I tried to put a little bit of a smile in Jesus' voice. I don't think that Jesus is actually dunking on Peter. I mean, he could have just actually dunked Peter. That could have been fun. I don't think that he is doing that. I think that Jesus is proud of Peter.
I want to say, well, they're already on edge. Like Eric said, it's been stormy, and literally they thought they just saw a ghost. Like, I feel like we kind of have just rolled by. It is a ghost. Which is also some fun foreshadowing. We've got this recurring theme of them thinking Jesus is dead when that's not entirely the case.
Mm-hmm. And did he totally set them up for this too? I mean, what were they thinking?
I'll go ahead.
I'll catch up.
Yeah. But Jesus, where's your boat? I have boats of which you don't know.
What did they think was going to happen? I mean, why did they get in the boat and go off on their own without him in the first place? Did he tell them, "Oh yeah, I'll meet you on the other side"? Or did they just figure they'd work it out? He'd text them, or I don't know what they were thinking, but
He wanted his alone time.
What else were they gonna do?
well,
These
did-
are
is coming,
biblical
Bob.
times.
It does say he made the disciples get into the boat.
that's true.
So that
If you don't get into this boat, you're not actually my friend.
Don't make me open a can of whoop ass on you. But I mean, he did actually want his alone time. That is like not just a silly thing. That is, he wanted to go up the mountain by himself to pray.
What did he want them to do on the other side of Galilee?
Catch some fish.
I mean, he's like, you guys go over there. I'm gonna dismiss these crowds, and then I'm gonna chill out for a bit. Like, I like getting up to this mountain and praying.
Stay in the boat. Just don't get out of the boat. It'll totally ruin it if you get out of the boat. Stay in the boat. Don't go to shore.
Yeah, I do not still have enough memory of the route, but I remember in seminary unpacking the route that they took. And so they are traveling and spreading the message at this point. And then go to the other side is not always a directly cross the whole way across. They're doing like tangents across the Sea of Galilee. So they're going from one town to the next, basically preaching. So this is you're wrapping up the show, and you told everybody that we're going to meet at X, Y, or Z bar, and I'll get there after I get this wrapped up. And then Jesus decides to spend some alone time and go pray before he goes to catch up with them. The fact that he caught up to them without a boat was probably not what they thought the plan was going to have entailed. But Jesus apparently knew he did not need a boat to catch up to them.
Sometimes you just need a little bit of time off the tour bus. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't so great, but I put it out there because sometimes you take a step out of the boat and you trust that somebody's going to take your hand.
And you say,
"Oh, he took my
ye of
hand.
little faith, why did you doubt?"
Now, ye of little faith, why did you tell such a sucky joke? And the answer
Because
is
that's what we do here.
It is, and we're good at that. So when I was in Florida for spring training baseball with my dad and my brother, we were, Dad and I, sitting out by the fire pit at the hotel in the morning. It was beautifully cool, and we were watching the various lizards coming and sunning themselves. And there was one that I saw that was just this really big guy that got up on his 2 feet and started running. And I managed to take just enough of a picture to be able to ID him. And he was, in fact, a Jesus Christ lizard. Not because you go, Jesus Christ, when you see one, but because, and you might do that, but because
little sandals on.
he is the kind who will run on water. So if you've seen the ones who go up on their back legs and then they run across the water like that, that's what he was doing right there in the hotel courtyard there. And I tell that apropos of nothing.
What's it like to be better than all of us, Bob?
So we're
I
back to a pre-episode conversation of Jesus being Stuart Little-like.
Yes.
Jesus is
forgot how we got there, but Jesus, when you think about it, is kind of like Stuart Little.
Except instead of a mouse, he's a Floridian lizard.
And I mean, really, as he is trying to catch up to the boat, isn't that kind of exactly what you want? That he gets up and goes...
He's not walking calmly. He's running. Guys! I'm coming. And they're running. He's a ghost. He's a ghost.
Peter's kind of like that kid at the playground that's like, Mom, Dad, watch me climb the monkey bars. I can climb the monkey bars. And he's like, nah! I climbed the monkey bars, and they're like, you did. Or he'll like be hanging. He's like, I can do this. And he goes, bam, bam. I did one. I can do monkey bars.
Yep. Jesus is like such a drama queen too. I mean, like he's doing this in the middle of the night. He probably timed it for midnight, right? So that they are going to be all freaked out about the witching hour, and here he comes, and is he a ghost and stuff? He could have walked on the water in the middle of the day just fine. But did he choose to do that? No. I mean, so what? Did he have a moonbeam that just illuminated him dramatically?
Of course he did.
Uh-huh. He directed the moon to light him up
That's how they can see him, and that's why he looked ghost-like.
Uh-huh. Drama queen.
I do have Peter is the kid who always wants to show off, though. He is the kid who really, 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 really wants to be on every possible like group that's helping the teacher out. He is the kid, and he's always messing it up. Judas is the kid that was really, really competent. He was put in charge of the treasury out of the gate because we know he's going to be. And Judas is the one that ends up being the bad example, and Peter is the one upon whom the church is built. And there is something to that your real ability to be performing and competent is not the foundation upon which the church is built.
I also love that it's just a historical thing that even Jesus put the least trustworthy guy in charge of the money.
Judas volunteered for that.
You always got to be a little...
Yeah, twist my arm a little bit, Jesus.
I should handle the money. You got to be like, should you?
But I'm sorry, Abby.
Oh, no, you go ahead. You were going to say something more profound. I was going to make a movie reference.
I was just going to point out that it's worth remembering, too, that Peter's name is the nickname that Jesus gives him, Petros, which is where we get words like petrified from. It's the word for stone or rock. Rocky would be an appropriate English rendering of his nickname. And Eric mentioned, that he is the foundation upon which so much is built. And that is part of the rock pun, that he is the corner. Well, not the corner. Jesus is the cornerstone, but he's like a foundational rock that you're building on. But also, he is the one who sinks like a rock.
Yes.
And whose head sometimes is like it's full of rocks. The nicknaming is just so wonderful with Peter.
I've definitely talked about the Mike Flanagan miniseries Midnight Mass on the podcast before.
Yes,
but,
this is what the vampire one, right?
Yes, vampire one. So major spoilers for Midnight Mass, which you should definitely watch if you haven't. It basically the priest at a small town, at a church in a small town, he finds a vampire. And he's like, it's an angel. And he thinks it's an angel because he's afraid. And every single time in the Bible, when someone is afraid, that meant that they were about to witness a miracle. But what that meant in the context of the show is that he was 85 years old and had dementia. So the vampire makes him like younger, and he brings the vampire back. And he, instead of giving his congregation wine, he gives them the vampire blood. And then miracles start happening. And then he brings the vampire to the midnight mass, and he was like, behold, an angel of the Lord. It was a vampire. And he's like, you're afraid. Well, that's because you're about to witness a miracle. Every single time in the Bible that someone was afraid, we're about to witness a fucking miracle. And people are like, all right, let's make a miracle. And then the vampire eats everyone, and then they all die. And then the priest is like, do you still love me, Jesus? I kind of fucked this thing up. But that is to say, it's good to be afraid. But also, if you see a vampire and you're afraid, that's probably a good sign.
And this is what the kingdom of heaven is like.
The kingdom of heaven. I feel like that the kingdom of heaven is the kingdom of hell is when you think you brought an angel to your small town, but you brought a vampire.
It's a vampire.
Oops, a daisy.
Now,
my bad.
I read Pullman's books, and I know that hell is a republic.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So that is my demonstration of literacy right here.
I'm trying to come up with a
I
quick,
got
witty
multiple
response to that.
library cards.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts on this? We've gone long on this one. 33 whole minutes so far.
do not
It's like
have final
1 minute
thought.
for each year of Jesus' life.
Now he's dead.
Jesus is
back.
very responsive in this one. Like, Peter's like, Lord, save me. And Jesus is like, okay, again, I got you. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like, I already told you I wasn't a ghost. Yeah. Now I got to save you again.
But again, that's my takeaway from this is that it's two-pronged. You will, in serving ministry, not just ordained ministry, but in serving your neighbors in any way, things will happen in life that are amazing. Anyone who is even outside of the church that has worked in a nonprofit service sector has had just amazing stories to tell of life-changing events. You also will have stories to tell of when you just screwed the pooch terribly that day. And that's where the takeaway that Jesus is still there to save you at that point. It's not a like I hope you keep doing good, but you're out on your own now, and that's a major. I mean, that is, to me, that's the gospel. That is the promise that we are saved by grace, by Jesus, not by the works we do. We get to do amazing things because we're saved by grace.
Be not afraid. Jesus will save you. He's not a ghost or a vampire.
And if it's a vampire, it's not Jesus.
He's alike.
So, where are you guys going to be sinking or swimming in front of a microphone in August?
You go first.
When in August are we?
This is the very beginning. Anytime after August 2nd or so.
Okay. August 8th, I will be at the Beck Ringland Tavern in Scenery Hill with Chrissy Costa, Tim Ross, and Cody Cannon in the evening. That's an 8 o'clock show. And at 11 a.m. that same day, I'll be at the Brookline Breeze, the comedy section ran by the wonderful Cassie Bruno.
August 8th, I will also be at the Brookline Breeze at 11 a.m. with Eric and the wonderful Cassie Bruno. And then in the evening, I will be at Bantha Tea Bar for the Moon Show, also with Cassie Bruno. And follow me on Instagram at It's Abby E.
And
I'm on Instagram as Comical Eat-Ups. Thanks, Bob.
and we are at CPTB Pod. Follow us at CPTB POD. And here we are at the end of yet another episode. If somehow, unthinkably, we have managed to offend you, we are sorry.
No, we are not. I keep saying this. You have a problem. You do this to yourself.
I'm not sure any longer if you're saying you have a problem to them or to me.
Both, Bob. Both.
Well, since we all have problems, make ours less by liking, subscribing, sharing this podcast with all kinds of crazy people.
Share it with sane people, too. We'll take those listeners as well.
They might not enjoy it so much, but one way or another, here we are going to be next week with more God talk and more funny stuff.
Until then, may the Holy Spirit do her thing in your life.